So to catch you up on what's going on, I'm scraping the old gasket material off the intake. Already did it off the lifter valley on the block, so now I'm just doing it on the intake. Gonna lay a bead down of silicone and then put the intake back on it, and hopefully that'll take care of that little oil leak we got on the back. And then I got an idea on what I might try to get that water pump to quit leaking. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. Alright, so it's kind of loud, but what I'm doing now is I'm going to ground a little bit of clearance on the back of the intake. That way I can get, just have a little bit more room on that oil pressure fitting. So here we go on that. I got the lifter valley on the block. Got it all clean, scraped off. Laid my bead of silicone down on it. Now about to throw the gaskets on it. Now I'm gonna lay some silicone on the manifold and drop it on there and start putting everything back together. So got the gaskets on there, they've set long enough, and just put a little bit of a bead on the intake. I don't know if that's what most people do, but that's just what I've done now at the same time. The only reason why I had to redo this was because like I said in the first video or second video, I didn't do this right here. I did the gasket plus this, and that on the back I think is what's causing the leak, since I got that fitting back there where the oil gauge or the hose from the oil pressure gauge runs to it. I've got that fitting as tight as I can, and it's still leaking there. So we're pretty certain that it was leaking out of the back of the manifold. So drop it on there right quick, and like I said, start putting it back together. All right, so last thing you saw was Thursday night. I was getting ready to put the intake back on. When I did that, I had problems with one bolt, just one bolt. Couldn't get the thread started. Ended up going to longer intake bolts. I actually tried 1.5-inch bolts. Those ended up being too long, so I had to go in between 1.25 inch. That was something I had to go to the down to the hardware store the next day and get those. I only had grade 5, didn't get grade 8, but that'll get me by for now. I can always go back and put grade 8 bolts on the intake. So that was Thursday night, today's Sunday evening. I got the intake back on, carburetor linkage hooked back up, everything else, plug wires back on, distributor in. Went to check the water pump again. It's still leaking. I tried putting some silicone on it around the threads. I knew that probably wasn't going to do anything, but it was a last resort. Kind of got tired of messing with it. It's been, I don't know, week and a half I've been messing with this. 5, 6, 7 times I've messed with this. So ended up going and buying a water pump from a buddy of mine. Sold me, I think it's a Mezeire, that's how you pronounce it. Anyway, one of the better ones. Not supposed to leak. It's ran before. It was sitting, just on the shelf. So went and grabbed that from him today. Was gonna put it back on, but my luck, none of the parts stores in my town have 2 small block Chevy water pump gaskets. So we'll do that tomorrow. I should be in. I went ahead and ordered intake manifold gaskets too, just to have a spare set sitting at the house. That way if I ever have to pull the intake off here, or if I'm at a big race and, you know, in a crunch, for some ungodly reason I have to pull the intake off, I got a new set. So we'll put the water pump, the new water pump on tomorrow, and then hopefully crank it up, set timing, and really that should be it. Check again for leaks. I think I got them all pretty much taken care of. There's one little fuel leak by the fuel filter. It's so small, it's not really even nothing to worry about right now, since time's kind of the essence. So what I'm doing right now, I'm mounting the fire extinguisher. I was about to drill and mount it on the transmission tunnel right above the drive shaft, you know, right beside the seat. I figured that'd be a good place that I could get to it real quick and easy, but my drive shaft's already kind of close to the tunnel, and the idea of even a short bolt or a nut sticking through, it would probably be okay and never rub, but that's just a chance I'd rather not take. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and rig something up. Got these old roll bar clamps and got a short bolt for it. In order to make the bolt work to go through here, I'm going to drill a hole right there, sand these, or not sand, I guess grind these little grooves or ridges down. That way this bolt, 7/16 bolt, can go through it. And I think I'm gonna put it on the down bar that the tack is mounted to. So I'll have the tack and the fire extinguisher right there. It'll still be close and out of the way. So I'm gonna get to that. All right, so here's the issue. You get a 7/16 1-inch bolt. It's a little too long. Wants to come out through this end. Well, you can't let it do that. It's gonna go around the roll bar. So you try to shim it 1/4 of an inch, and then it sticks out too far to where you can't get the bottle on there. So next solution to that is try and go find a 7/16 3/4 inch long bolt, which I figured would be kind of hard to do. Tractor Supply parts store, they only have 1 inch, so only a die-hard, probably hardware store is gonna have a 7/16 3/4 inch long bolt. So all that was for nothing. And now we're just gonna use 2 hose clamps. All right, so what I ended up doing instead of the hose clamps was I went back to the original idea. I just got 2 bolts, cut them, and drilled another hole. Actually, I drilled 2 more holes to put those roll bar clamps through, because that one in the center that I had, that you see right there, the bottle wasn't stable enough, so I needed to do 2. I think I still cut the bolts a little too short, because you can sit here and kind of move. It's got a little bit of play in it. Not much, but it's in there. Shouldn't go anywhere. That's kind of the main thing. I'll come back, and if I want to be real picky about it, get some different bolts or cut them not as short next time. But anyway, so now that's done. Again, tomorrow the plan is put the water pump on with the new gaskets. It'll plug right in the new pump that uses the same connector, even though they're different brands. So that'll be quick and easy. That should take care of the water pump problem. Crank it up, check timing, or adjust timing and check it, I guess. And then after that, take the car off stands, get it cleaned up, inside, out, underneath, all that Car's filthy. And then hopefully go take it down the road. Just put a mile or two on it. Make sure it brakes where it steers halfway okay. Put a load on the engine and the trans and the rear end, all that. Make sure everything feels alright, no big vibrations. And if all that goes well, then we'll try and go to Lassiter Mountain Wednesday or Wednesday night, test and tune, depending on weather. We'll have to watch that and go from there. But anyway, that's going to do it for this video. We'll see you guys in the next day or two.